Hey there, everyone. Dr. Beth Westie here, and I wanted to talk about perimenopause really quick and getting your hormones tested, what you should be looking for, what you would want to see. So this is a really awkward time for a lot of women because the perimenopause time frame can last a year, 5 years, 10 years. What? And during that time, it can be really confusing as to what's happening in your system and what's going on. And you're like, oh, I got this, and things are settling down. And all of a sudden, they're not settling down anymore. So, what's the best thing to do? What do you look to? Do you get your hormones tested? Because then you're thinking, gosh, they could change next week. It's always valuable to get your hormones tested because if you are experiencing issues with your hormones, it's oftentimes not what the actual level is, it's how your body's processing them. So, quick background on this. This is the hormonal cycle. Day 1 is the first day of the period. Day 14 is about when you would ovulate. Day 28 is when that ends. Again, sorry, this is not, I wrote this quick, so it's not exactly balanced perfectly. But estrogen is higher in the first couple of weeks. Progesterone is higher in the second couple of weeks. Typically in perimenopause, what you want to see is estrogen drop first, and then that progesterone is higher. But if you have hormonal imbalances, if you have estrogen dominance, if you've been on birth control for a while, I can't tell you how many women I work with that they're on birth control and they're going through perimenopause and they're not sure where their body's at. Yeah, that's fair. Or they'll be like, oh, I know I'm in perimenopause. I got my levels checked or my progesterone is low. And I'm like, ooh, but if your estrogen is still high, that's not really perimenopause, right? You just have really bad hormonal imbalance and your body's not processing it well. Well, then how do you figure out what you do? Bam, Dutch test. Dutch test is what we look at because we get to see what your hormone levels are. But more importantly than that, this fancy page here tells me how your body's processing it. Liver processes about 85% of all your hormones. So a lot of what we do related to hormones is connected to the liver and your digestive system to make sure that that is functioning the way that it should. If that's not working well, yeah, your system is going to have an imbalance here of hormones, creating other um, symptoms for you. You can have fatigue, hot flashes, weight gain, inability to lose weight, mood swings, hair can fall out, you can have acne. Oh my gosh, so many skin issues for women. I can't even tell you. But again, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that there's a lot of stuff going on in your system that you have to get ahead of. So I'm going to put a link here in the comments for the next 12-week challenge waitlist. Got to be on the waitlist to get the registration link for the 12-week challenge. I do cap it. It does fill up in about 24 hours once that registration link is released. But everybody gets a Dutch test. Everybody gets a Dutch test, and we go through this and create, specific recommendations for each person because it matters. Because if your estrogen levels do drop first, great, but then there's a certain protocol that you will need. If your estrogen is still higher, but your progesterone drops, we have to address that. And just throwing progesterone at you isn't always the answer, especially if we look at how your body's processing it, and that's not correct. Yeah. Also, we look at your adrenals, right? That's a that's a picture of an adrenal gland and how that schematic works for your cortisol levels. Huge impact on how your body processes things, especially into perimenopause. So I don't want to make it sound confusing. I don't want to make it sound overwhelming, but it is important that you recognize where your system is actually at and how you're moving forward with it and not just randomly throwing stuff at your body, to try and help. So it's really important to know what your hormones are doing. Is it worth it to get it if my hormones are changing all the time? Absolutely, because even if your levels are lower, you get to see how your body's processing it. And that is where the value is, because that's where you can make the most impact right away. Yay! So that's what I got for you guys tonight. Again, right there in the comments is a link for the 12-week challenge to get on the wait list. Other resources I have for you, I have my book, The Female Fat Solution. This is all about nutrition for your hormones and cycle. Eat for your cycle method. And this is on Amazon. If you are in perimenopause, menopause, I have the Female Menopause Solution also on Amazon. My podcast is called The Female Health Solution, and then my YouTube channel is called Dr. Beth Westie. You can subscribe to stay updated on all the things I have coming out. So, hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I will see you later.